connecting your brain and body with interactive games and tests. Why is there no physical activity in today's health physical? Trazer is an holistic technology used to rehabilitate, prevent falls, and improve sport performance. Trazer reports provide you, your clinician, your physical therapist, or athletic trainer objective data to make decisions on your health and performance over time. Measure what matters to change your game. Take the Trazer Challenge. Confidence, growth, connected by Trazer.
What is going on, everybody? Man, Eric Wilson here on a Wednesday night. And before I let the crew do their thing tonight, with what happened today, information that we found out, I had to get Megan and John in here to kind of discuss it. So let me go ahead and welcome in Fox Sports 1340 AM, Mr. John Shears in the building, alongside Megan Price, our queen of hoop. How are you?
Doing well. How about you guys?
I'm doing well.
I'm all right. So, before we let Megan and the rest of the team do their thing, I want to talk about this because we did find out today, in fact, that Aaron Rodgers has tested positive for COVID. Now, listen, we know even if you have the vaccine, you are still capable of catching the COVID-19 virus. We realize that. However, it came to light that Aaron Rodgers has not been vaccinated. And so we had to go all the way back to August to understand, I guess, or put two and two together, because he said whatever a person chooses to do is their business. And we echo that same sentiment. But to go on record and say that you were immunized, and I know I said that wrong. I still can't pronounce it.
I've had problems saying it all day.
Does not correlate into you being vaccinated.
Right.
So, John, Megan, let's talk about this for a few minutes, because we're talking about a prominent figure in the NFL. And he, in not so many words, was not 100% accurate in his forthcomings.
I think that I don't care what player he is. I think if you break the protocols, if you lie, you should be punished. No matter if you're Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, or a third string player, you deserve to be punished. Whatever, I don't know what the rules are in regards to breaking the protocols. I'm not sure what the NFL, if they have anything set in place for this type of situation. I have no idea. However, you should be punished because you're putting other people at risk that think that you're vaccinated. And so they're a little bit, their guard is down a little bit more because they think you're vaccinated. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure we've seen times on the sideline this year where he doesn't have his mask on. And isn't he supposed to if he's not vaccinated? Yeah. But he said he, was immunized, but that's not vaccinated. So, there should be a punishment. There should be suspension, because fine isn't going to do anything to a guy that money is not an issue for, a superstar like that. There should be a suspension. That will send a message to him and whoever else tries to do this nonsense that, if you don't want to get vaccinated, that's fine.
Right.
But if you do, be honest and do it. Don't play these games because you're messing with other people's paychecks and their lives and all that.
Definitely. I got to agree with John here. I could care less if he's vaccinated or not. What I care about is how he presented the matter and whose lives he affected after that. Just personally, COVID has affected my family and other areas of my life in the last month. And so, it's just very much still a thing out there. And if you're not going to be vaccinated, then just follow protocol, fine, whatever. Don't be vaccinated. That's cool. Do you? But follow protocol and do right by everybody else, because what if you gave it to somebody else and they carry it home to their family? So that's my main thing there. What if you infected somebody else? It's dangerous. And I think the way he presented it was slimy. I feel like it was a sleazeball thing to do, to just kind of get around your wording like that. Like, just be real. Say, hey, I'm not vaccinated. How hard was that?
It's not hard.
Exactly.
It's not. And I kind of want to take this back to, we were all unsure of whether Aaron Rodgers was going to play this season for Green Bay just because of everything that transpired in the offseason. And so when this came out today, what I took from it was, how much do you really want to just get out of Green Bay? Like, I'm not accusing Aaron Rodgers of going to that extreme, but you worded the situation to basically try and get one over.
Mm-hmm.
You went out and played. You did not follow the rules set in place by the NFL for those who are unvaccinated. You lost key players throughout this season. They have caught this, which in turn hurt your team. Granted, you were still winning, but not having a Devontae Adams or a Lazard or some of these other key pieces. And now it comes to light halfway through the season that, number one, you contracted the virus, which I hope you get well. You're not going to be able to play against Kansas City or Seattle, which Russell Wilson is expected to come back for that Seattle game. But it also comes to light that you're not vaccinated. You're supposed to be this very intelligent individual, but now all I see you as is a narcissist. Because you tried to buck the system. You got caught. Now I want to know, is there any remorse? Because, and I do not want to speak this into existence, but let's say, Megan, to your point, someone who he has had contact with contracts it and then infects someone else who is, it's a rabbit hole that I don't want to go down, but I sometimes feel like I need to take a page out of our boy Alex's book and just say what I really want to say. But I'm trying to remain professional with this.
Right.
Because we haven't heard from him. What we heard was, well, I was immunized.
Immunized.
Thank you. Immunized. But I'm just like, really? This is where my wheels start spinning. This is where you want to take this. This is where you want to go. This is how bad you want to get out of Green Bay. So much so that you are basically going to lie to the American people and to the national media and saying that you are something that you're not.
Right.
Like it just, that right there shows me the character of someone. Forget football. All right. Take that off the board. Because this is not an on the field issue. It translates onto the field because now you've infected your team. You're a virus in that locker room. We always talk about what's the cancer in the locker room. Well, guess what? Now it's Aaron Rodgers. And it's not from a literal and a figurative, it's from all facets of it.
Right.
So I just, what bothers me the most about this is the simple fact that all you had to say was, I respect anybody's decision to get it, the shot or not get it. At this particular juncture, I'm not. I'll follow the NFL guidelines and protocols.
I would have respected that. I would
Right.
have respected that all the
Right.
way. I mean, that's his choice, but skirting around it, that like I said earlier, it gives other people around him the impression that he is vaccinated, and so your guard is down more because you're like, oh, this person's vaccinated. I don't have to worry about it as much. I mean, obviously, that's what we all would think. And and look, other guys on the team got it, and it's spreading, and who knows how much that could be his fault? We don't know. I have no idea. But these are things you have to wonder because he's not vaccinated, and like I said, I wasn't for Cole Beasley.
Hold on, John.
We remember,
John. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but John Turner of Football World and We Just Live It is chiming in, and he's said comments. I get what he's saying. It's very popular to be pro-vax, a lot harder to say you don't believe the hype. Then he's also saying he was immunized was a way to get the media off his nuts. Okay. He's like, easier for us to say than an NFL quarterback to do. No, it's not that hard.
no,
John
it doesn't
Turner.
matter what your position is, what your career is. You have
One
an
way or the other,
obligation.
you have to make a decision.
Yeah.
You're either going to follow the guidelines and protocols put in place, A, or B, you're going to get vaccinated. And then
Why didn't he just follow the protocols? That's what I don't get.
Because Aaron Rodgers feels he's above the system. I'll say it.
Obviously. And I was defending him because he looks crazy depressed to me. Like his hair's grown out, his eyes are sunken. Like I was like, man, dude looks like he's depressed. Like he's going through something.
Looks like he's on. It looks like he's on.
And then he comes out with this today. And to me, that's just a sleazeball move. Like you should have just been honest and upfront about who you are. If you don't want to get vaccinated, fine, whatever. And some people can say, okay, it's easy for us to say it because, oh, we're just media or, oh, we're just on the internet.
I mean,
it's easier for us to say that. But I guarantee if he decided he didn't want to, there's tons of people in the NFL that decided they didn't want to get vaccinated.
I had to get vaccinated to go to the Hall of Fame in August. That is a career moment for me, getting to go and cover the Hall of Fame. That's an amazing achievement. I got vaccinated. I got vaccinated a month before that, but I had to in order to go to that. I understood what I had to do, and I did it. I didn't want to, but I did it, and that's that. And it is what it is.
We knew in order to move forward and progress and elevate who we were, there were certain decisions that we had to make.
Right.
All right. We made the decision to do what we thought was best for us. And that's what we're all saying at the end of the day. All I'm saying in regards to Aaron Rodgers, take accountability. Right. That's all I want you to do. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. I don't care.
Right.
But if you're not going to do it and your employer is telling you and the organization that is paying you millions of dollars, I don't care if they're paying you millions of dollars or they're paying you minimum wage. If they are telling you this is the process in order to be here, in order to continue where you are at in your position, and you decide to try and buck the system and go around it and use your intelligence to feel like people won't figure this out, again, that speaks to narcissism.
Yeah, to me, this spoke to his character more than anything else. Couldn't care less whether he's vaccinated or not, but do what you got to do to follow protocols for everybody else. Y'all remember in the playoffs when LeBron broke safety and safety protocols, and he got a fine or something like that, but he still played, and he didn't get the same treatment as other players that broke protocol. And I felt like it was incredibly unfair then. The rules apply to everybody. And I feel the same thing about Aaron Rodgers. The rules apply to him the exact same. Just wear your mask, follow protocols. Don't travel with the team. Do what you're supposed to do if you don't want to be vaccinated.
What happens from here?
That's the $64,000 question. We can speculate all you want. And I'll be the first one to say how I feel.
What do you think is a fair estimation for a suspension? If they suspend, what do you think is fair?
6 games.
Okay.
How long?
I was thinking 6 games is fair, in my opinion.
6 games and a fine.
Yep.
I mean, it has to be.
Since Aaron Rodgers feels that he's above the system, you're suspended 6 games and you've got a $25,000 fine.
Right.
I'd be okay with that.
I'd be
okay with that too. But like your point that it almost feels intentional, like he did this so that they would put him out of Green Bay. So just retire if you don't want to do it then.
I know. Oh, all right, y'all. Well, I'm gonna let our girl, Miss Megan Price, and the rest of the crew. Our boy Mike Harris-Nudo is gonna be a little late this evening, but I said what I said. I'm holding my ground on this one, and until I actually hear from him, which I don't even know if we're gonna hear from him. You know what? You're gone these 2 games. Let's see what the league does, because I really want the league to uphold this. But again, he's Aaron Rodgers, so
No, this is a big moment, because if they don't uphold it, then you're allowing other players to do the same thing.
pretty much. All right, Megan. Well, enjoy the rest of the show. Have fun. John, I'm gonna holler at you tomorrow night on Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel. We're gonna pay some bills, and then I'm gonna let Megan take over. Peace.
Ball gets out pretty well, so does Rodgers come next to him. Ward bumps again to the sideline.
At Fusion Sport, we're all about driving human performance. We develop and support a range of technologies all designed to assist people to be their best. SmarterBase is used by hundreds of elite sporting organisations across the globe, and more recently has been used by the military and performing arts as well.
Our SmarterBase technology has at the heart of it an integrated and connected philosophy. What's different about SmarterBase is that it's truly flexible and self-engineerable. That really puts the power into our customers' hands, and it allows them to use it in unique ways that perhaps we haven't even thought of.
Between ourselves and the rest of the field, but here comes Jimmy Stone.
All right, guys, welcome to a special episode of the Sports Arena. We're doing an all Cowboys night. We have a couple of people joining us right now. We've got James Harris from Say What, Say It Again.
What up, people? How y'all doing?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm fine.
How do you feel after Sunday?
But this Sunday, we played the Broncos, right?
Yes.
I'm excited. I hope Dak come back so we can get that continuity going back again on offense. So our defense definitely played a whole lot better against Minnesota. But yeah, I'm excited.
Same. I really feel like our defense came to play against Minnesota, and that's what I want to see out of them, obviously, for the rest of the season. And this is what we've been looking for a couple of seasons now. Our defense was probably the best in 2016, and we haven't seen that in, 5 seasons now. So nice to see that they're not really the blame of it. We're playing both sides of the ball. And, I think personally, I got to put that on Dan Quinn. I felt like he's the right hire. I was nervous whenever we hired him just because of the debacle in ATL. But as a defensive coordinator, he was awesome in Seattle. And obviously, He's still proving that he has those abilities.
He's also defensive coordinator.
Absolutely. Yeah, so what was your takeaways from the Minnesota game, Cooper Rush, and besides the defense? Tell me what you thought about Cooper Rush.
I thought he played solid. He started off a little slow for me. I was kind of nervous at first. He started off slow. But at the same time, our defense played solid. It kept us in the game. And then when he needed to make passes, he did. He had CeeDee Lamb and Wilson, his guy that is, was on his, the third team, whatever, with him all the time. He'd be working out with. So he did what we needed to do. But I was really impressed by our defense because that offense, I thought Kirk Cousins would have more than he had 184-yard passes. So yes. I thought that the offense would be more. And then that'll put Cooper Rush, trying to rush him, put him behind the sticks and stuff. So, but I'm pleasantly surprised because for a guy that only threw 3 passes in the NFL, he played with a lot of confidence.
Absolutely. He didn't actually win the game until the last minute of the game. Right. So that has to be nerve-wracking. And so for him to keep his cool and be able to play through that moment and not be nervous, I was pleasantly surprised as well. I can be quoted as saying that I had no faith in any of our backups. So he definitely proved me wrong. And I have to say, when I was watching White play for the Jets, he used to be our backup, right? I was kind of nervous. I was like, oh man, this is kind of a bad omen. He's doing really, really well over there. We let him go. And then we're starting Cooper Rush.
Yeah, they both played well. White played awesome, but
yeah, he played really awesome.
Yeah, he played awesome.
shout out to him. I know that was his first start. So, okay. We testing it out with the star. Moving forward with our schedule, what do you think we have to do to win against the Broncos? It is a home game for us. And they've had some drama. Von Miller's over to the Rams. To me, I kind of feel like that means that they are going to play with a chip on their shoulder. Like that defense is still going to want to come in and make a difference. And that defense wasn't just Von Miller. Like their defense, their secondary has been pretty well, highly ranked this season.
Yeah. Who was that draft pick they got this year? Is he still? Did he get injured?
That's who. That was who I wanted us to get. Was it Horn?
Surtain?
No, Surtain. Yeah, they got Surtain.
Yeah, Surtain. Yeah, but this is how I see it. If we can run our offense with Dak and put up the most yards ever against Bill Belichick, I always think we have a good chance of putting up yards against anybody. So I'm not too much worried about them. Our offense is our defense. I just don't want like Teddy Bridgewater just to go off just all of a sudden go off on us because we get lackadaisical because we take them for granted. So I just don't want that to happen. And I definitely want Dak back so he can get his reps back so he can get back in, in the swing of things. But I just don't want us to take them for granted. And then the game after that, we play Atlanta. So those two games, I don't want those to be our trap games. Right. So I want us to come with the same intensity, especially on defense, because I believe our offense is there. I think our offense is there. Even if we ain't having a great rushing game, CeeDee Lamb and all them boys, they get open. Like that's what they get separation. And that's key for any quarterback. Like with Cooper Rush, he was getting his passes because CeeDee Lamb was getting separation. He was open.
Right.
So that's big for us. So I think our offense will be fine, even though they got a great defense and a pass rush, but our offense is fine. What's our big left tackle? I hope he's playing.
Collins?
Huh?
Collins?
Yeah. Is it Collins? No, Collins, not Collins. Left tackle. Tyron Smith. He got injured that game.
He's out. He's out. Yeah, they have ruled him out. Yeah. And so that's going to be a big blow for us there. Hopefully he's able to come back within the next couple of weeks. And Collins should be coming off. That's the one that was suspended, correct? So he should be coming off suspension either this week or next week. I can't quite remember.
He came off this week. They just started still. He still played though. So that's what I'm saying. Are they gonna move still over to left tackle to maybe put Collins there, or we got to see? But that's what Tyron Smith. Yeah, he definitely got to get him healthy. That's we need that left tackle.
So speaking of Smiths, what do you think about Jalen being cut from the Packers?
I didn't ever understand why we cut him. I liked him, but it's obvious something's not there with him. I don't know if he's injured on the low because the first couple of years with us he was injured, so I'm not sure. I'm figuring they don't think he could produce like he used to. He's still I'm pretty sure pretty fast. He was a fast linebacker, sideline to sideline, and he was a good coverage linebacker. But I don't know. I know we can we pick him up during the season since we released him?
I think we did the right thing. I think we made a statement that if you don't perform, you're going to get cut. It doesn't matter if you feel like you're our best linebacker on the team. It doesn't matter if D-Law is injured. Like if you're not performing, then you're going to get cut. So I think Dan Quinn did the right thing. Like he sent that message, and then in return, the Packers cut him as well. So to me, that just shows that it wasn't us making the wrong decision. It's something going on with Jalen. In my opinion,
I thought he was one of our best linebackers, and then the way Michael Parsons is playing, it's like, oh yeah,
right. Yeah. Okay, so that's the better
that's the best linebacker on the team. Yeah.
And Jalen hasn't looked the same since Notre Dame. And that senior year that he played, or his last season with them, he got injured, and he's just never looked the same. But we knew that drafting him. So it's starting to look like we drafted a little better the last couple of years. And I think that's what's making a difference, not only with our offense and our weapons there, because, last year I felt like we needed to draft defense, but CeeDee Lamb was available. So you had to take him. You know what I mean? Like I didn't disagree with it, but our defense still took another season of looking like trash. Finally, this year we spent 8 picks on the defense, and it looks like it's really making a difference.
Yes.
Definitely.
And then Trayvon Diggs, he looks good for us. Is he out too? Because I know at the end of that game, he kind of hit his ankle. So he didn't finish those last couple of possessions to finish that game out. So I don't know if he's playing or not this weekend.
I don't think he has been ruled out as of yet. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
Okay, that's good. That's great.
And what are your concerns with the Chiefs? That's the big game on the schedule coming up over for this month. The Chiefs and then Vegas. I think that's going to be interesting too. So, Vegas is number 1 in their division.
Right.
And then the Chiefs are in the same division. They're struggling. Do you think that's a winnable game for us? Because this is a team that was at the Super Bowl last year.
I definitely think it's a winnable game for us against the Chiefs. They kind of struggle with the Giants. Honestly, they struggled the first half against the Redskins. I mean, the Washington football team. So I think it's a winnable game. I know we're going to put up points on them. Our thing is, they like to pass. We like to we have to get to the quarterback. Because if we don't get to the quarterback, those double moves on Trayvon Diggs, they're killing us every single time. So as long as we get to the quarterback and Patrick Mahomes, if we could drop 8 and rush out 4, I think hopefully Lawrence be back. We can get him.
Right.
If we get him back, Gregory's been rushing real good. Our defensive front, like against Minnesota, was like legit. Like they was rushing, they was fast for us. So if we can get that on Patrick Mahomes, we should be able to beat them. Only thing is our secondary. I hope we still got to step up because I was looking at the stats on our secondary. I didn't know. Like, let me see. For instance, we're like 28th in passing, giving up 28th in passing yards allowed. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
78 passing yards a game, and our rushing defense is 6. So, that's the only concern I would have with that against those two teams because they definitely coming out passing.
Yeah, definitely agree. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a little break real quick. We will be right back.
Generations Physical Therapy has been the Tri-State's leader in physical therapy services for over 20 years. And now we have a convenient location right in the heart of the capital city of Charleston, just off I-64. With convenient parking and flexible hours, your access to physical therapy is second to none. Plus, Snap Fitness is also in sight with 2 floors of gym equipment and sports enhancement training through A-Game Sports Performance. So whether you're needing hands-on physical therapy or looking to get results in our gym, our family's ready to help yours. Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness. Multiple services, multiple locations. Experience you can count on.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Sports Arena Special Edition. I have James Harris from Say What, Say It Again with me, and we are going to be talking all things Cowboys. So before the break, we were talking about the Chiefs game. I think this is a completely winnable game for us. And I don't necessarily think that's just all on the Cowboys' ability. I think that's also on the inability that we are seeing in the Chiefs right now. I feel like that game against New York was a very telltale game about the problems that they're going through there. They should have in no way should have been that close of a game, in my opinion. The Chiefs are that much of a better team, so much more dominant. Whether their defense is struggling or not, that offense still should have completely dominated the Giants, and it did not. So for me, I feel like it's a completely winnable game, but that defense has to come to play because their offense is what we would know is high powered. We haven't seen it a whole lot this season, but they have the capability to be a high powered offense. Moving on, though, after that, we have Las Vegas, and that is going to be our last home game of November. And then we move into December, and we have 3 road games, and they are New Orleans, Washington, and New York. So that little break right there with the Chiefs and the Raiders, I feel like those are very important games for us to keep our momentum up. Because then we go into divisional games, and this is where it gets kind of serious. Even though I'm not too worried about us winning the division, I do think you want to make a statement like you want to sweep the Giants, you want to sweep Washington, and Philly, I think we're definitely going to sweep them.
Right. Yeah, I definitely think it's important we get those games. Honestly, I'm looking for the bye now in the first round because there's only one of them. So I figure, LA and all them boys in that division, they bump heads with each other. LA and Arizona, they'll be bumping heads with each other again. And hopefully Seattle and the 49ers can sneak some wins in there. We just got to take care, like you said, the Chiefs and Oakland. I believe the other games after that is definitely winnable. And all our division games might be hard. We might slip up, lose one of those, maybe 2. But these, like you said, against Kansas City, against Oakland, and Kansas City against Las Vegas, those are definitely big games for us, yes. But I will say this, Kansas City, I didn't know Kansas City led the league in turnovers. I didn't know that.
They do after that game on Monday night. So also, I want to say, what is going on with Monday Night Football? Like, these matchups are atrocious. I think that they could definitely do a little bit better than that. They're starting to look like Thursday Night Football matchups.
Right.
And then also we do play Arizona this year. So the second to last game, we play Arizona. It will be our last home game. And then we finish the season on the road in Philly. So the Arizona game, I think, is going to be really interesting. Obviously, Kyler will be back by that time, but they won't have JJ Watt. But they are a very high-powered team that is looking like they have a possibility to make it to the Super Bowl. Real quick, before we jump into that, I want to go ahead and introduce Ruth the Truth, another Cowboys fan.
What's up, everybody? Sorry that I was late. I was handling my the Tom Gronkowski show where I cover the move from Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski from the Beantown to the Bay that I host every Wednesday on the Fans Only Sports Network. So I had to change into my gear and put up my Cowboys put up my Cowboys blanket so I can come in here and represent. And I am so excited that I will be headed to Dallas this Friday to watch them take on the Denver Broncos and Teddy Bridgewater, and I couldn't be more excited. This will be my first game at AT&T Stadium in Jerry's World, so I couldn't be more excited.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful stadium.
Oh,
it really
is.
I've heard they got everything you need there. You want to go to a nightclub? They got that too.
in there. And it's so nice. I tell people all the time, like, my heart is in Arlington because right next to it is Globe Life. So the Rangers Stadium is right next to it as well. So it's a fun little experience for sure.
My first Dallas trip was supposed to be for my birthday in 2020. There was a music festival called Ubby Dubby that was going to be at the Global Life Park. Right next to the stadium. And it was on my birthday. I was so excited. I bought a ticket to take a tour around the AT&T Stadium where they bring you into the locker room and all that jazz. But COVID had other plans. But I'm glad that I'm able to go this year and to go during the season and actually see a game be played. I mean, I guess it was worth the wait.
Well, it's definitely worth the wait to see Dak.
I know, right? The first time I saw Dallas play live was in Cincinnati when they took on the Bengals, and Dak was hurt and Joe Burrow was hurt. So I'm like, what am I doing here?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we
So
had
what-
a lot of missing pieces during that game, but we were able to get a win. So at least that happened. A W for my first time seeing Dallas play.
Right. So what did you think about the game against Minnesota this past Sunday?
Oh, let me tell you. So I went to New Orleans to cover the New Orleans Saints and Tampa Bay Bucks game, and I'm like running in heels, feet already tired from being on my feet all day. I'm running back to my hotel room because I'm like, I'm not missing this game for nothing.
Right.
I was a little nervous with Dak being out, but I mean, Cooper Rush was a starting quarterback at one time, in his career. So I felt like maybe he was going to be able to pull things together. I mean, having Dak and Kellen Moore as your, calling the shots on the sidelines, I had confidence that they were going to able to get a win. It definitely came down to a really close score at the end of the game because they were like tit for tat as the score just kept going up. And then Cooper, to Amari, that was just beautiful. Great way to win. I'm glad that Cooper Rush's family was in the audience and they really, seemed to really enjoy that as well. So overall, great win on the road, and hopefully Dak will be back and ready to go by this Sunday. I heard that he's going to be in full gear and be a full participant in practice starting tomorrow.
Great.
I think he will be there. Yesterday he was saying like he was still in the moment. He was still celebrating with the guys and, wanted to make sure that Cooper Rush got his dues, but that he would be ready for Sunday. So it probably ate him up. I know he's a big competitor. And so that probably ate him up having to sit on the sidelines.
Yeah, that's got to be nerve-wracking to like watch somebody do your job, and I'm pretty sure there was a lot of things he wanted to critique and try to influence Cooper to get better. And that's a great learning experience for Cooper as well. And he might have been auditioning to be a starter in the league again. So who knows?
Agree. So coming up, as you said, that we have Denver and then ATL at home. And then after that, we have the Chiefs game. What are your concerns with that game? Because that is one that I circled on the schedule even before we knew the Chiefs were struggling.
Right. Trevon Diggs, this is your time to shine. You better be picking those off. I mean, as far as I know, I think Kansas City is leading the league with turnovers. And if I'm not mistaken, Patrick Mahomes himself had 16 turnovers prior to going into that Giants game. And he had an interception early in the first quarter. So it's not looking great. I mean, I really don't know what's going on with the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, I know defensively they've always been a struggle, but their offense has always been electric. They've always been able to put 35, 42 points on the board to win games. And I never really felt like they depended on their defense. But now it seems like their offense is kind of getting figured out. I don't know if the Tampa Bay Bucks were able to formulate a blueprint for the league to follow when it comes to these defensive coordinators. But I mean, it's the Kansas City Chiefs, so I'm not going to try to look past them like they're not a good team. I mean, Andy Reid was one of my favorite coaches in the league for a long time, and he's well respected. He's been around for a long time, so he knows the game. So I'm not going to say it's a for sure win for Dallas, but I think we have a chance. I think we're our offense is strong enough to be able to outscore the Kansas City Chiefs. I just want to be able to contain Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. If we can contain those two offensive weapons, and I wouldn't say play a man-to-man defense on them because that's not a formula you to win the games against Kansas City. But I just need to have those two players specifically just need to be slowed down for sure.
Agree. So
are they playing in Arrowhead or is it in?
No, we're playing there.
Yeah, it's an Arrowhead.
Yikes.
Yeah, indeed. And like you said, when Andy Reid's on the sidelines, you definitely have a chance. He's an excellent coach. I thought he was great in Philly. He just was never able to just finally complete his task as far as winning a chip there. But, he looks amazing with the Chiefs. He kind of revitalized his career. And, the Chiefs, is like Eric said, the Chiefs, that's going to be a tough one. Following that, we have Las Vegas, who has been a really interesting team this year. Despite coaching problems, despite, obviously what happened this week with Ruggs, I I still feel like that's going to be a really tough game for us. Like they're proven to be a team. Derek Carr is an excellent quarterback. Now, I don't think he's
they're 5-2 right now. So
right.
And that's without John Gruden, and they're playing with Rich Bisaccia as their intern head coach right now. So, I mean, we can definitely not look past them.
I agree. And then New Orleans after that. That's going to be a real interesting game. Obviously, they're not going to have Jameis, but they're going to have Taysom Hill back by that time. So are you a believer in Taysom Hill? Do you think that that's going to be a tough game for us? Is it winnable because it's in New Orleans?
Yeah. I actually plan on going to that game. If I'm not mistaken, it's December 2nd in New Orleans. So I plan on making my way back to New Orleans to watch that game. I mean, New Orleans is defensively is a dominant team.
Yeah.
I think they depend a lot on their defense with Marshawn Lattimore and the defensive weapons that they have. So I think it's going to be a tough game, but I believe in Dak. I believe in Amari. Michael Gallup should be returning as well. Is he back? He was back from injury last game, right?
No.
Or did he not play?
No, he didn't play.
Out?
Yeah, he's still out. And he's still listed on the IR, but he did. I think they moved him to out. So they have 3 weeks to play him, basically, to move him back onto the roster. I think they are going to take their time with him. Amari's playing so well, and I just want to shout out the haters when he said he was probably the best wide receiver in the league, but that he had to prove it. I feel like he's proven it to y'all every single week, so shout that out.
Oh, it is a Thursday night game. Okay. And we're coming off a short week. Thanks, Eric. How are your Philadelphia Eagles doing?
Right, yeah. And we knew this. We knew this was like our soft stretch of our schedule. We knew this. He took her off. Oh, no. Oh, salty Eric.
Hey, Eric, I did my week 8 picks with now I took off Megan. I did my week 8 picks. He's so bitter. I did my week 8 picks with Christina, the Tampa Sports Bay, and when it came down to that Detroit and Philly game, she was like, "Oh, I think Detroit really has a chance to get their first win of the season." And I'm like, "Listen, I don't like the Eagles, but I'm a realist, Like I'm not trying to, play off emotions right now. I really think the Philadelphia Eagles are not that bad to the point where they're going to lose to Detroit Lions, and I'm pretty sure they put 44 points on them.
44, yeah,
with four rushing touchdowns. So I mean, they got a little something going on offensively. I've always been a fan of Jalen Hurts, so I'm never going to be talking down to the Philadelphia Eagles, but they're nowhere close to Dallas right now.
Big facts.
I actually picked the Lions. I just felt like it was going to be a trap game for Philly. Not necessarily that Philly isn't the better team, because they obviously are. And I do like Jalen Hurts. But you could still come to the cookout. I like Jalen Hurts. I do think they have a couple of good things going on with their offense over there. I just felt like it was a weird game and that the Lions were going to come out victorious. Obviously, I was wrong.
Yeah, well, he only passed for 104 yards, so I guess the running attack, their rushing attack.
Yeah, they had 4 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, so because he really didn't do too much, because I got him on fantasy. Jalen Hurts is my quarterback, and he only had like 11 poents. So I'm like, yo, he didn't do too much. So, but
it's almost sacrilegious, James, to have Jalen as your
I use him they're always losing, so he got a pass to put up points and stuff like that. So that's why I use him. Like he put up about 20.
I got Dak because he always puts up good numbers in fantasy, and then I have Stratford.
Somebody took him. I was just about to pick him, but somebody took Dak. Cause my name on fantasy is Dak Zeke. So, but I got Zeke though.
For my fantasy team last season, my fantasy name was Dak to the Future.
Dak. That's a good one. That's a good one.
We all got Dak in our name. Mine is Mrs. Dak Prescott's
with the Back
team.
to the Future movies, so it just made sense.
That's funny. So what do y'all think about this stretch in our schedule where we're all on the road? Like we knew that December was going to be tough for us. Do you think that we win all those games, or do you think there's going to be a couple that we drop?
I'm looking up the list right now. You said all the December games. Are they all away games?
Yeah, I think so.
So starting after the Oakland game?
Yeah, so after Oakland,
New Orleans, Washington, New York.
New Orleans, dang, you're right.
Yeah.
What the heck? New Orleans, Washington, Giants, and then Washington again. I mean, they're all winnable games. The Washington football team are not as dominant on the defensive side of the
Nah,
ball
I'm
like
not
they were
worried about
previous
Washington
year.
too much.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about Washington. I think the Giants are obviously going to come with their best effort, but
Right.
I'm not a huge believer. I don't even think Saquon is playing. Is Saquon even back yet? If I'm
Nah, he's not
Tested
back yet.
positive. Ruth,
They
Yeah.
the
tested
schedule's
positive.
on the screen. But he tested positive for COVID.
Saquon did?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yo, there seems to be like everybody's getting caught up with COVID right now. So does anybody know if Saquon was vaccinated?
I don't know. If he
Yeah.
was vaccinated, hopefully it'll be not as bad, and it'll
Right.
lessen the effects of it. And, hopefully it'll be a shorter timeout for him.
Right. So
And just
I'm
go ahead.
I'm sure I missed the conversation. I'm pretty sure you guys already talked about this, but the Aaron Rodgers situation and
Yeah.
his positive COVID. Now, the headlines were saying that he claimed that he was vaccinated,
Immunized.
but it turned out that he wasn't.
Yeah.
What is that about? Is he supposed to be like punished by the NFL, or is there any type of repercussions of lying about a vaccination?
We talked about it in the first 15 minutes, and I think we're all just waiting to see what the NFL does. Whether he was vaccinated or not really isn't the issue. It was just kind of how he presented it. He used the word immunized instead of vaccinated. And so that basically comes down to he didn't lie, but to me, it was just kind of a slime ball type of thing to do. Like if you're not gonna get vaccinated, just say that. And then follow the protocols on the sidelines instead of endangering people on the sidelines. So just my personal opinion of it.
Right. So does Kansas City win that game without Aaron Rodgers?
I think it's still a winnable game for Green Bay just because of how bad the Chiefs are playing. But I do think the Chiefs come out on top. And I'm concerned about that because that's going to keep them. Then they play the Raiders and then they play us. So like those three teams, we're all interacting with each other for those 3 weeks. And so, there's going to be some momentum for somebody, whether it be us, whether it be the Chiefs getting back on things, or whether it be the Raiders.
Right. Guys, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. My dog is freaking out right now. Give me one.
Okay, no problem. So what has been your biggest takeaways this season so far about the positives? And then what do you think are the negatives that we need to address the most?
Okay, the positives, I would say definitely our offense. I didn't think Dak can come and play at this level right away. I know it's week 8 now, week 8 or 9, but at the beginning of the year, I didn't think Dak was going to come out and play like he was playing. And the way Zeke is running the ball, he's back. I think he's 5th in the league in rushing. Derrick Henry gone now, so he could be up to 4th. And then Pollard is playing really good. I'm surprised somebody didn't reach out to him. I thought maybe Tennessee might reach out for Pollard. I'm glad he did. So then also our receiving core, like we got weapons everywhere on offense. Even our third string receivers are playing like first string receivers. So we got weapons everywhere. That's a lot of positive for me. Also, our turnover, we get a lot of turnovers for defense. Even though we give up a lot of passing yards, we a lot of turnovers. But the negative, I would say, one is penalties. We got to cut back on our penalties. We get a lot of penalties. We're 3rd in the league for penalties. Most of them are holding calls. So we got to cut back on our penalties. Also, we got to cut back on our unnecessary roughness penalties too. We're number 1 in the league for that. That's crazy. Like I know Gregory, he had like 2 of them against Minnesota in one possession. Got them all the way down the field. I was like, come on, man. He's trying to
I thought one of them was bull, but yeah, we do got to cut back on those. But one of them, yeah, I thought was some bull. Ruth, I asked what do you feel like the biggest positives are so far through the schedule for the Cowboys, and what do you feel like the negatives are that need to be addressed?
I mean, defensively is a huge positive. We've made a huge turnaround from the year before. I think Dan Quinn is obviously making great adjustments to our defense, and I'm glad that we're making cuts when it's necessary. Getting rid of Jalen Smith when we did was a positive. I think right now they made another recent cut to make room for DeMarcus Lawrence, who will hopefully be returning soon. So that's a big positive, because that's something I was worried about in the offseason. I said, how is the Dallas Cowboys going to react from being, I think, ranked 31st in the worst defense? How are they going to react coming into this season? And they've been surprising me, and they've been doing a lot better than I expected them with the turnovers. I mean, Trevon Diggs has been amazing. I mean, he had like seven picks in like 6 games or something crazy like that. I know that he picked off Sam Darnold twice during that Carolina game, which was very, very impressive. I think it might have helped him being a wide receiver for most of his football playing career, because he's got those hands. So he's always ready to make those adjustments midair. So he's been super impressive. Another positive is I feel like old Zeke is starting to creep back just a little bit. That dominant running back that we all know that he can be. And I mean, having Tony Pollard that's not even that far back from Zeke is another positive. I think we have that 1-2 punch when it comes to our running back room, which is always great to have. I mean, you don't want to always depend on Dak having to throw the ball, especially in the offseason when he was dealing with that right shoulder. I think it was his throwing shoulder that he was having issues with before the season even started. I mean, I know that he missed most of the preseason games because of that. So it's great to have a strong running back room that we could also lean on. Some negatives, I mean, like he had mentioned, those penalties got to get cleaned up. Those holding calls are unnecessary. Allowing teams to get back into the game because your penalties is never good. You don't want to allow teams to win, but you don't want to allow you to beat yourself as well. Right. And that's a big problem that the Bucs had against New Orleans Saints during that game. And I mean, everybody saw how that turned out.
Bucs number 1 in penalties.
Right.
Oh, wow. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We will be right back.
Carousel, carousel, this the carousel. On or you're off, either you're on or you're off, either you're on or you're off. What? Knock 'em out. Carousel, 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 this the carousel. On or you're off, either you're on or you're off, either you're on or you're off. What? Knock 'em out.
No, Ashley got something she got to get to, so we're gonna go ahead and do career over, and then we're gonna get up out of here. What you got for me, Avery? Talk to me, man.
I got you, Tyrus. I got you, bro. Hey, career over, Eric Wilson. For you to say that the Milwaukee Bucks were not gonna make the playoffs. Period. Career over, Eric.
Wait,
come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Yeah,
this
come on,
this
man.
season that just passed.
Come on, man. What you gonna pick, Orlando?
No,
the Chicago Bulls?
They're saying this upcoming season.
No, the season that just passed.
Last year. Yeah. Eric Wilson stated that Milwaukee Bucks were not gonna make the playoff. Come on, Eric. I love you, but career over, man. Come on, man. I know you had me drunk that night. You talking about Orlando career over, the Bulls career over, Detroit. They could get in the playing game. Washington career over. Come on, man.
You can't even have them in the playoffs, bro.
Come on, man. Come on, E. Come on, E. Doug. E. Doug. Come on, man.
We got it's the East, man.
He said, "Wow." He said, "Wow." I got you, Ty. I know you said.
Hey, that's my man.
Come on, E.
That's my man.
Welcome back, everyone, to a special edition of the Sports Arena All Cowboys edition. Much to our producer and normal host disdain, he's in mourning since Kirk Cousins did not beat us.
I think he was hoping, because I know that this has been planned for like a couple weeks now. I think he was hoping that we were going to come off of a loss. So we'd be like licking our wounds right now, but it didn't end up that way. So he's probably regretting it right now. But where is Michael Caratanudo? Like,
I know, right?
Mike's not here right now because he'd really be blowing up the scene.
He said he was running late, and we are hoping that he comes in pretty soon because we
I
got
just
about
texted
20
him. I said,
minutes
you better
left.
get your ass here.
Right. Because he could definitely talk those entire last 20 minutes himself.
Megan never lies, bro.
So, as we were talking about Green Bay earlier, what do you think that this means for the competition in the NFC? Like, who do you think is going to be the Cowboys' biggest competition getting to the NFC Championship game if we're able to get there? And what's going on in Green Bay, does this affect that situation?
You want to go first?
I go. I just assuming the suspension, if how they deal with Aaron Rodgers, if they suspend him or not. If they don't, he's definitely a threat, man. Aaron Rodgers, he's been Achilles heel in the playoffs for a couple of times.
Right.
So hopefully we don't have to see them early. Like hopefully we get the bye. But then again, we get the bye. Then Arizona win, we might have to play them. Then the Rams win, we got to play them, and all of them are passing offenses.
Yeah.
Along with Green Bay, so the NFC is tough. Like for us because our pass defense, even though our defense played well, only because our pass defense. That's the only thing I'm worried about. But we can score with the best anybody. I'm not worried about our offense. We can score with anybody. If we can just get our pass rush to get to the quarterback to help our secondary out, I think we'll be good.
I got to be real and say that I think we have Tampa Bay pretty figured out. Like, we played way better than I anticipated in that first game. I mean, and it wasn't
that game was painful to watch, man.
Oh yeah, Tampa Bay.
Right.
I was sitting like, I don't know, it was like 6 rows from the 50-yard line, and my voice was gone by like the third quarter because I was just like, I can't believe we're really hanging in this game right now. Everybody doubted us. Everybody thought this was going to be a blowout, and we had the lead. We were up by 2 points late in the fourth, and I'm like, I really was disappointed with the time management in that game. I think Mike McCarthy really dropped the ball in those situations, and I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, me
How
too.
are you feeling about him? Going into his second season, now we can't use the excuse of Dak not being out because Dak's in. I mean, he did miss last week's game, but how are you feeling about Mike McCarthy's future with the Dallas Cowboys? Megan, give it to me.
I'm still not a fan of Mike McCarthy, and I feel like what you just said there, the time management, and it has been an issue more than once this season. And just those 4th and goal situations, he's just dropped the ball a couple of times on those situations. And part of that you gotta mention our kicker because that was some issues in that game as well. But I'm not super impressed with Mike McCarthy, and I really thought he was going to be good for our team. I thought he was going to be what kept Zeke with some longevity. Like, I thought because he wasn't always going to go to Zeke all the time because he's not a running coach. Like, he's more of a passing coach. It's always been that. So I thought, this will be good for Zeke. This is going to keep him healthy longer. It's going to keep him on our team longer. And he took Zeke completely out of the offense last season. And even before Dak was hurt, he completely just kind of took him out of sync. And, once he started playing him more, he started getting back in sync with the offense. So I'm still concerned. I still have some questions about Mike McCarthy for sure. So I'm not sold.
Yeah, one job, clock management. Manage that clock right. We got everything else covered. Manage the clock right. I think he did okay with that timeout call when we played against Minnesota to bring his starters back on.
Yeah.
That's the only great decision I've seen from him this year, really. Besides letting his offensive coordinator do his thing and his defensive coordinator do his thing, but he got a clock management right. It's bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was happy about the signing with Mike McCarthy, but the way that he handled the offense, like Megan alluded to, taking Ezekiel Elliott out of his element in their offensive scheme last season was just kind of confusing. And I don't know if it was Dak not being there and Dak being hurt that caused Zeke Elliott to be completely out of funk with all those turnovers, with all those fumbles that were way uncharacteristic for him. But I feel like he's definitely elevated his game this season, and that's a positive from Mike McCarthy. I think he's starting to. I guess the players are really starting to trust him and his offensive scheme, which is also a positive. So I'm going to give Mike McCarthy another season to get it done. And but I mean, if we don't win this division, I mean, it's obvious that we're going to win the NFC East division. But if we can't make it to an NFC Championship game,
Right.
I would
You gotta
definitely
make the
be
championship
questioning
game.
whether or not he's going to be the future of that franchise.
Right. All right, guys, we got
The one
Michael
night-
Cartenuto in the building.
Michael Cartenuto.
The one night for us to celebrate, have a huge Italian family. Things come up, man. I can't believe it. And Eric's probably happy. So, Megan, I'm sure you mentioned that I feel that Anthony Brown can't do two things at once. I hope you mentioned that.
I haven't even addressed it yet. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's-
Yeah. He can
Go
run.
ahead.
He can cover, guys. He just can't run and cover. I want Awuzie back in Cincinnati because he looks really good in Cincinnati. Randy Gregory, Megan and I love. The fact that they're in first place over the Eagles by so many games is awesome. And Ruth, like I said the other night, guys, if Dak Prescott played against the Vikings, they win by 30. The fact that defense showed out like that,
Yes.
man, and Cooper Rush. And I just love the fact now that Eric has to say good things about Amari Cooper, Ruth, because, I mean, week 1, CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper tore that trash secondary of the Bucks up, and I will call them trash. I'll steal a phrase from John, Megan. I'll steal John's phrase, calling everybody trash, but they made the Bucks secondary look like trash. And lastly, I just have to get this in real quick. I'm sure you touched on it. 2 words, Megan. Dan Quinn. Mike Nolan, I can say his name now, Ruth, because he's gone. Right. Mike Nolan's gone, so
God,
I
that
don't
was
know if
such
you
a
know this,
mess.
Charles. I wouldn't say Mike Nolan's name. I would not say Mike Nolan's name after week 5 last year. I just called him the defensive coordinator. So all I know is that Dan
guy
Quinn makes a difference. Yeah, that guy. Van Der Esch is back on the weak side. Ruth, you were down on Van Der Esch last year because, Mike Nolan put him on the strong side. And, yeah, he played well. But then when everybody got injured, he couldn't do everything. He looked so great on the weak side. And then the Penn State kid, Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs. When DeMarcus Lawrence comes back, if that crybaby ever comes back, and I only call him a crybaby because it's like he wants to get paid. He does. Then he gets no sacks. Then the defense is terrible, and Nolan contributed to that. He got banged up last year. Nobody wanted to play. But look, DeMarcus Lawrence comes back with Micah Parsons, Van Der Esch, Diggs, and then once in a blue moon interception, Anthony Brown. Dude, this defense is going to be sick. And I'm just so happy Penn State linebackers just keep Dallas's defense flowing because Eric loves that, guys.
Yeah, he loves it.
You
So
cannot
we-
mention Michael Parsons without saying Penn State first. Like that's Cartenuto's MO right there.
Right. Well, I'm super relieved that Mike Nolan is gone. And just an FYI in hiring processes, if you're hiring somebody that's a manager or a head coach or something of that aspect, and they have a best friend that they want to bring in for assistant manager or defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator, don't do it. Don't do it. It was just awful. I
wonder if they're still friends. Because that would have ruined any friendship for me.
Oh, right. Like, man, you made me look bad in my first year.
First year.
They have
Real bad. It's
So
really
wait.
bad.
Okay, so now that they're only have one loss, and it's a loss that, of course, since I don't know, let's see here, 2 of these other people on the screen picked against them in week 1. I was the person that picked for them week 1, and Dak on a reconstructed ankle tears the secondary up, and I'm just millimeters away from victory in week 1. But it was a silver lining victory. That the fact they only have one loss, look, I still think the Cardinals are right there. Everybody freaking out, or everybody in the national media says, "Oh, look, the Cardinals lost one game." Well, they still beat the Rams head to head, and the Packers
They smoked the
They
Rams.
beat them with that. Oh, absolutely. And look, it is a race in the West, and Von Miller coming there. But look, the Cowboys leading the East, the Cardinals, the Rams. I mean, the 49ers, I'm shocked, have slipped off like this. But, man, I'm telling you right now, between the East and the West, the NFC champion is going to come out of. Because the Cowboys will get to the playoffs. And, look, if they keep improving, that's the exciting part. This defense can keep getting better.
Yeah.
And Ruth and Megan, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but, like, I think Hooker once he feels better, gets more in the rotation. I mean, they brought him in for a reason. Play this guy at safety. Hell, I'll even take him at corner over Brown. It can't be any worse.
Was it off of Anthony Brown with that New England game when Mac Jones threw that deep ball and it was like Trevon Diggs? Was it Anthony Brown that missed that coverage?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
We got a question real quick. Do you believe Pollard and not Zeke is carrying the offensive run game? I want to say no. I want to say they're pretty close. I'm going to say Zeke is ahead of Pollard, but Pollard is very, very close. And I think what actually makes them so great is that they're versatile as receivers as well, because every single game they have receiving yards as well. So if the play isn't working out for them to run, they get open and they run.
Looks. I mean, I said it to you in the beginning of the season, mate, when everybody said after the Chargers game, oh, Zeke, look in shape, he's washed up. It's a 17-game season this year. You can have two backs. Not everybody in the world's going to be Derrick Henry. So, I'm all for keeping Zeke fresh. And that run that he had in the Minnesota game, that catch and plowing people over for that first down.
That was
for fantasy,
huge.
I would have got the win. Exactly.
And
I would have got the win in fantasy if he got in the end zone. Damn it. But I'm happy. Hey, we got the win. Amari Cooper had 2 big catches. Eric loves it. I love saying this. Eric has to give props to Amari Cooper.
It had me a little nervous seeing Amari on the sidelines right before that play, and he was using that machine, that muscle machine relaxer gun, and I was just like, man, I hope his hamstring doesn't act up. But it was a great play for them.
It was a great catch.
Great catch, yeah.
And I'm interested to see what we do once D-Law comes back. I'm kind of with you, Mike. We haven't really seen him perform since he got paid. And while I do think he's a great mentor to Micah Parsons, we saw him on the sidelines all preseason long, giving Micah Parsons his knowledge. I want to see him do it on the field too. But I kind of felt like the injury was a blessing in disguise because we had to adjust and we looked great. We looked better because of it.
Yeah. I would agree with
that. And I know he left the game, and I know it was good to see La'el Collins back, but Tyron Smith went out of the game. And look, I said it week 1, Ruth, I was there going back and forth with our boy Alex because he's saying Jason Pierre-Paul, and I said, hey, Tyron Smith used to own him. And it's funny because Pierre-Paul only lined up on him, I think, like 5 times. And 4 of those 5 times, Tyron Smith said, I don't know where you think you're going. So they need Tyron Smith. Look,
We need Tyron Smith.
Great, no surprise there. Spanish, their center. I mean, another Wisconsin center. Guy's weird. Another guy from Wisconsin that can play center. He's looking a lot better. And I mean, having Zach Martin next to him, and Chris Collinsworth touched on it Sunday night, but man, Steele has improved a lot at right tackle.
Yes.
I'll give Steele that. He has played better.
Right. And I feel that too. But how long is Smith supposed to be out? Do we know that?
I'm not sure of the timeline, but I could look it up real quick.
So you think they
and I
move
also
Steele
saw,
over
I saw
to left tackle? I mean, right when it put Collins at right tackle, move Steele over to left tackle maybe to cover that up.
Had in there, and I feel bad because I know they signed him. He was in camp and he was signed, and I don't know if he got banged up right before the Bucs game. But that kid, and I forget his name, I feel bad, number 79. I mean, he looked good for coming in. I mean, look, the fact they have the flexibility, I think Steele's actually better on the right side, though. Because I know last year was a train wreck, and we all understand that. But I don't know if he's a left tackle. So, I mean, if you leave him over there, and I mean, look, you could even, if you want more help, and La'el Collins inside, they don't want to mess it up, but you could even put, I don't know if it would be wise on them, but you could move left guard, put him on the left side, and then put Collins back at right guard, leave Steele at right tackle, because that protects both the tackles in a way. But I mean,
and we did that last season before Martin got hurt. We did that last season. So, I mean, it's not like it's something new to him.
Right.
We had a comment earlier from Chuck from Say What, Say It Again, where he said, so he gets no credit for y'all being 7-1. Well, we're actually 6-1 because we had a bye, Chuck. But and this was in reference to Mike McCarthy. I want to say that he doesn't do any of his play calling, none. And so really, like James said, you got one job, you got to time manage. And we've seen him mess that up a couple of times. So I'm not going to say that he hasn't improved this season, because he has. And is learning the team better and is working with the team better. But I also want to say it's not all on him.
Yeah. And honestly, like when it comes to time management, when it comes to a veteran head coach, that should not be an issue.
Right.
At this at this point of your career, that should not even be a conversation. So a little bit disappointment, but I mean, I see improvements. Like you mentioned, when he called that timeout to put the starters in that Minnesota game, I think that was a good call. And he's getting slowly. He's starting to earn my love a little bit. So I'm not too mad about Mike McCarthy right now. So we'll see how he pans out in the playoffs, because that's when it really counts. How he performs in the playoffs.
Right. And so
the one thing, and Megan, the one thing I will say about his play calling real quick is with Cooper Rush back there, it finally looked like more of the West Coast. Because I know, Megan, I think I said to you, I think it was after the Eagles game on Monday night, Dak Prescott with a lot of those, like some of those throws, it was like old school Cowboys. It was that West Coast, like back foot planted throw, back foot plant, like get out. Yeah, sometimes he got pressured, but and a little bit more. So I kind of have gone off, and Ruth and Megan definitely know this about Mike McCarthy not installing any West Coast concepts. Cooper Rush, it was West Coast. The interception that we harped on Monday night, it was a bad read, but he planted his back foot and the ball was, he took the 5-step drop, hitched up, ball was gone. So, like, those are more West Coast concepts for a backup quarterback when you have a running game that works. So, but the fact that there was some more plays with Dak in there, I will apologize to McCarthy. The time management, all three of you are right. I will not apologize to him for that, because you're right. You're a head coach. You're a veteran head coach. You're not calling play. I mean, you're listening to plays, and you can always suggest stuff, as you guys know. But look, overall, it's to overstate the obvious, just a million times better than last year. But the fact that Ruth, what's his name again? Micah Parsons from Penn State, who took over for Sean Lee, who was from Penn State. Micah Parsons
from Penn State.
Yeah. And it took over for Sean Lee, another Penn State linebacker, because they produce, the best, which is phenomenal. And Micah Parsons, each week he looks better and better. But the fact that you have a guy like Trayvon Diggs, I know Megan said, you did say, and again, sometimes he might get beat, but his closing, and I know he's not as fast, and I know you guys will hear this. I'm not saying he's Dion, but his closing speed, he's like Dion. He's baiting some guys to throw. If he gets beat, that's one thing, but he's not truly beat till the ball's in the receiver's hands, to my opinion, because he can close insanely fast.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I just think some of the chances he takes don't always work out, and that's okay. He's still looking great. I'm so glad he's a part of our team. One last thing I want to talk about before we go, guys. What are y'all's opinion on Greg the Leg? Is it time to move on?
Oh man, these kickers, man, these NFL kickers, they have one job. I got to work with Martin Gramatica for a couple months on his TV show, and he told me how the special teams coach really just leave you alone. They don't really pressure you so much. It is your job to perfect your craft. And Greg the Leg has been somewhat on a little bit of a decline from his past seasons with the Dallas Cowboys. I wouldn't say it's time to move on, but the next time that we lose because he misses a kick, he needs to be sat down and said, hey, you're about to get replaced, buddy.
What do we have to replace him, though? Do we have anything that is comparable to him at the moment, or do we just have to ride it out with him for the season and then start looking for kickers in the draft?
We might have to ride this wave out and try to pick up a new kicker in the draft. Yeah.
He fourth in the league. And
find somebody fresh leg instead of Greg the Leg. We need fresh legs.
Right.
Yeah, he fourth in the league in field goal attempts too. He 4 for 18, so he's been booting it this year.
True. There's just been some key moments, and it goes that way with kickers. You're either a hero or you're the reason that we fail. Right. So I
got a quick question.
Hey.
Is CeeDee Lamb going to have a better career with the Dallas Cowboys than Dez Bryant?
Ooh, good one. Okay, this is going to be our final word. Okay, so everybody get your word in on this one, and then we're going to wrap it up.
You start first.
Shoot. How old is Dak Prescott?
He's 27.
7.
Dang. Yes. Yes.
You think CeeDee Lamb's gonna have a better career than Dez Bryant?
Yes.
Yeah.
His separation is a whole lot better than Dez Bryant.
I'm going to say yes, but I'm a huge Dez Bryant fan. I call him Chocolate City because he's pretty.
Beautiful.
He is pretty. You know, I love his personality, and I love his passion for his team, for his, as we know, his quarterback. But CeeDee Lamb is special, and even though we need, like I said before, even though we needed to draft defense at the time, CeeDee Lamb was available, and you had to do it, and they made the right decision. So I'm going to say yes.
Absolutely. What about you, Mike?
I think he could end up with more yards because again, he is a little bit quicker. But man, touchdowns, I don't know, man. That was outside of Whitney. That was Romo's boy in the red zone. Those monster basketball hands.
Yeah, those hands, man. Look, those gloves.
If they better, I mean, longer with Dallas, and I think their numbers will be similar. I mean, if you go with because Bryant was with the Cowboys for 7 years, 7-8 years. So, I mean, it'll be close. To me, it'll be close. I will get in one last thing on Zerline too, though. I don't know if it's time. And look, he does drive me nuts when he misses like a 42-yarder, and then he comes back and hits a 54-yarder like it's nothing. I'm like,
don't make no sense.
All right.
I guess that was Carrots and Noodles' final word. But I appreciate you guys having me on. Eric Wilson, thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk about the best team in the NFL. Let's go, baby.
We win the Super Bowl. We're winning the Super Bowl.
I'm scared to say that. I don't want to jinx us. But we're gonna win a playoff game. Dang it.
NFC Championship game. I said that from the very beginning of the season. I said we are gonna make it to an NFC Championship game. It will probably be against either the Green Bay Packers, the Arizona Cardinals, or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But we are making it to an NFC Championship game. I really believe that.
How about the Rams?
We have the talents.
Oh yeah, the Rams.
The Rams too. I mean, they keep picking up these defensive players, and they just keep getting better and better. I mean, Von Miller, Jalen Ramsey, and Aaron Donald all in the same defense. Like that sounds dangerous.
It does. It does. Well, and we were going to get to see them on full force and what they look like.
Go ahead, Mike.
Line got mad at me, so I got booted off. But
yeah,
I think, Greg Zerline got mad and booted me off. No, but NFC Championship game. Look, I could see it against the Cardinals or Rams. I mean, look, they have to play the Cardinals in a few weeks, which is going to be an insane game. I look forward to that matchup again. Look, I will say this to me. In my heart of hearts, Megan knows this. The Buffalo Bills are the best team in the NFL, top to bottom. But I would say the next 5 teams are all NFC teams, man. Like you said, and look, I begrudgingly put the Packers there. I'm not sold on I mean, look, Aaron Rodgers, I always respect his talent. His body language sucks. They had the ball so much longer than the Cardinals, yet they only won by 3. So I know we're not talking about that here, but
yeah.
But I will say the Cowboys. Oh, look at that schedule. Yes, thank you.
I think we play the Rams at like the end of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
The Broncos are trash now.
Yeah.
No, we play the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The Cardinals at the end of the season.
Yeah, we play them the second to last game.
Yeah, week 17. That'll be a great matchup. But are we playing them in Dallas?
Jerry World. Yep, it's a home game.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm gonna try to make it out to that game because
last year. Hey, we played.
Well, let me know because I'm about 5 hours from Dallas.
So
what are you doing this weekend? I'll be in Dallas this weekend for the Broncos game.
I gotta work. I gotta have a little bit of notice, but let me know about that game, and I will definitely try and make it. I think that's gonna do it for us, guys. Thank you so much for watching this special edition of Sports Arena All Cowboys edition. We missed out on Ashley Baker being here, and we would love to have her on any other time and talk Cowboys. Good night, guys.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Peace.